Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode 8 actually, of A Pod With No Name. I'm here with my co-hosts as usual, Tom and Bryan. What's up, guys?
Hey, dude.
But today is a special one because we have a first-time guest on the show.
Emphasis on special.
Here with us on the show today is Josh Jones, or better known as Juice. What's going on, buddy?
It's the Juice! Pretty good. How are you guys?
Doing all right. How's Muncie?
It is far away from you, so yes.
That is correct. We all miss you.
Yeah, very much so. But
Right, Bryan?
for us.
Oh, 100%.
I love how when I move away, you guys spend more time together. Fantastic. I get it. I was the problem. I understand.
Well,
All right, so Josh, you've listened to the show before. You know how it works. We usually just do a recap of the week. Week 3 just happened, and first thing I want to point out, fantasy related, I want to talk about the nail biter matchup last night between Jordan Young and Josh Durham. That was becoming really close.
I was just waiting the whole time on the message board for Josh's reaction.
yeah, it was going to be ugly depending on how that ended. But
going into that game, Josh Durham was leading, right?
Yeah.
he needed a miracle from Larry Fitz.
Jeez.
And that defense choked hard.
Oh, and I think that miracle definitely happened because Fitz does that. That's what he does every year.
He's immortal. He's never going to die, ever. And yeah, I want to say he got like 25, maybe he got close to 30 points, I believe.
It was just shy.
Yeah.
I figured Josh would be able to pull one out, considering he had the Cardinals defense. They'd give him enough points to keep him ahead, but that was not the case. Larry Fitzgerald was Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, ended up losing by 7. Ended up losing by 9. Fitzgerald had 33.
Ooh,
So
This is ridiculous.
2 now when he was up by 5.
13 receptions,
Jesus.
149 yards, and a touchdown. That's insane.
Dang. He always
Why we're talking about that game? What's up with the Cardinals? They look so bad this year.
Yeah.
They're still finding ways to win, though. Did they win last?
no, they ended up
beat the
losing.
Colts.
Yeah,
They
losing.
almost lost the Colts.
Yeah, losing David Johnson.
Yeah, it's just as bad as the Giants losing OBJ.
Yeah.
I think it boils down to the offensive line. Their offensive line is terrible now. I don't know if it just was that David Johnson was just that good and it didn't matter, or if it's that the offensive line is just gotten worse, but they are bad.
I feel like it's hard to change your game plan going into the season, the full training camp, preseason, everything with your best player, and him to just get cut out. You bring back Chris Johnson, who was cut from the team. You have to rethink a lot of things. They might get it this early. And Johnson, he might come back early, week 9, 10 maybe.
Yeah.
So
They still have the pieces on defense to be like a strong unit, but they're just not. They're getting scored on easily. It just doesn't make sense to me.
It's one of those things, I guess, and I'm pretty sure they just had another offensive lineman go down today for the year. If I'm not mistaken. I can't remember who it was, but somebody got like a torn pec or something.
Is Potty still there, or is he out?
He's out. He's out. They got Alex Boone though. But that's about it.
Who was it?
Jeez.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that wasn't the only good game. The Thursday night game, perhaps probably the game of the
Best
year.
game of the year.
Of the two most unlikely teams, the Rams and the 49ers absolutely balled out on Thursday, and it was insane.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, but did you know the Rams are the number 1 offense in the league right now?
Yeah.
yeah.
Sean
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, most points scored over the course of the past 3 weeks.
Yep. And that's what happens when you take the offensive coordinator from the Falcons and you put him on a team that has some talent. That's what happens.
Yeah,
They have a harder test than the Cowboys this week, but I think they're going to have a good game at least.
Yeah.
I believe in them. Cooper Kupp and Watkins is a good duo.
Yeah, well, if you look at the latest power rankings, according to NFL.com, the Rams have actually moved up to 9.
Nice.
They took the Panthers spot.
So look at the list. You have the Chiefs, Pats, Broncos, Cowboys, my Tennessee Titans, the Eagles, Falcons, Packers, Rams, and Steelers round out the top 10. So,
dude, you realize if somehow the Patriots got Cooper Kupp, Tom Brady would never retire.
he played until he's 50.
He's a way more athletic Wes Welker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a little beast.
Yeah. I'm definitely holding on to him.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. I think the 49ers actually, they were down by quite a lot in that game early, and then they almost came back and won. I think Brian Hoyer absolutely balled out.
Carlos Hyde looks phenomenal.
Yeah, that surprised me as well. He ran well even against Seattle when they played him the week before.
Carlos Hyde was like, hey, first quarter, I'm going to pretend I'm injured. Oh, wait, we're getting beat now. I'm going to come back in the game and ball out.
Yeah. If he stays healthy, they could win 3 or 4 more games just from him alone, I think.
Yeah. He can be good.
Yeah.
He definitely has the potential to be.
That offense by Kyle Shanahan for sure. He's a guru. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, though you don't pay attention to fantasy at all, Devin, congratulations on Carlos Hyde. He's pretty good.
Oh, you better be careful. Devin might be the only person watching this live. Hi,
That's
Kyle.
true.
Don't text me, Kyle.
I mean, he's staying active on the waiver wire. He's just not talkative.
Yeah.
He's got a good team. He could easily get back in the mix and be 3-3 here shortly. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised. He's one of the 0-3 teams, right? I'm surprised.
Maybe
he's the only 0-3 team, right?
Yeah, maybe in a couple weeks.
It was me or him.
Yeah, you finally broke the schneid and got your first win.
Yeah.
Yep.
All your guys came together. It looked good. That's what we've been afraid of, that team. What you did.
Yeah, I got saved. I got saved because my superstar showed up because I did a little too much tinkering, and it could have cost me if Brandon Cooks wouldn't have remembered how to play football.
Yeah. Tom doesn't like tinkering, so maybe you should stop doing that.
Hey, you guys all called me out last week and said I need a new quarterback and I need to do this, I need to do that. So I was just trying to listen. And
Who did you pick up this week for quarterback?
Phillip Rivers.
Right.
Who going in the fourth quarter had like -2 points.
Man, he has been a game for you, or he completely busts for you. It's hard.
I think didn't he have 3 interceptions before the first quarter or something like that?
He did, Cotton. Yes.
First half. Yeah, that was a little rough.
But
I think there's plenty of options on the waiver.
Which I mean, let's be honest, quarterbacks this year are terrible. There really isn't a reliable week-to-week quarterback. I mean,
your name is Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers now.
There's a handful, and I'm going to pick them up.
Okay, you can say that, but Tom Brady week 1 was bad.
Yeah,
comparatively to Alex Smith. So
that was the worst mistake the Chiefs could have made because now Tom Brady's pissed off and he's rolling a train on everyone.
Hey, I'm sorry, but as far as I'm concerned, the Chiefs look like the best team in the league right now. So
that's true. That's true.
I don't know if Blake Bortles plays like he did. That team.
Yeah.
Them and the
Titans.
Jacksonville and Titans, man. They both
Jacksonville and mayonnaise.
Well, hey, let's not get too crazy excited because it was in London and no one cares about the London games.
It's definitely a home game for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Manchester United. No, it's Jacksonville.
We're only here one time a year. It's fine.
It's all right. The Saints are going there this week, so we'll see. We'll see how that looks.
Yeah, Saints and Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jags play the Jets, so we can't really make a prediction on that.
Well,
speaking of the Dolphins,
Jets are not going to perform again. So,
speaking of the Dolphins, am I wrong in saying the real Jay Cutler showed up on Sunday? Because he did.
I don't think anyone else showed up is the problem.
I'm going to say no because they lost to the Jets. But
so that is the real Jay Cutler. He's terrible.
Yeah.
Right, Kyle?
He's not here anymore.
Dick.
Jeez.
But no, it was funny. It was funny if you listen to all the analysts on Sunday morning, they were like, "Oh, you better load up on the Dolphins. They're going to run all over the Jets and blah blah blah." And Ajayi had like single-digit points, and everything else was just terrible. So it's great.
Yeah, I won money on DraftKings, so I used the Jets defense. I did not believe the Dolphins would do anything. I didn't think it would be bad, but
I think the Dolphins and the Bucks kind of had the same thing where they had that extra week off in the beginning, and then they come back their first actual game and did pretty good. So people are like, "Oh, these are going to be good," and then they both fell on their face week 2 or week 3. So
I still believe in Tampa Bay, but maybe not the Dolphins. The Vikings are just solid all around. They're looking phenomenal. So that was a big play for the Tampa Bay.
Freaking Case Keenum.
Oh yeah,
I saw the most on Case Keenum. He's a buck killer. Every time he plays them, I think over the course of his career now, he has well over 500 yards passing and 7 touchdowns against the Bucks. Against them, he's ridiculous.
He's one of those quarterbacks that can just absolutely do terrible or just shred you through the air. No in between.
It's a good offense.
Yeah.
So if Bradford's out, I think.
Can I send Bradford and Bridgewater and start Keenum forever?
Yeah, could be, yeah. Or just wait a few more weeks and see if Bridgewater can play.
Yeah, I hate Bridgewater. So.
Whoa.
He's a good kid, man.
He's good.
No.
He's good, especially on Madden.
Well, we know how loyal you are to your Vikings then.
So, Josh, I have been told that you would like to debut your own segment.
Oh, we're going to kick it off. All right. Yeah. So we're going to talk about throwing some juice on it.
Throwing some juice on it sounds.
Yeah. So before we get into some lightheartedness, which I'm sure we will, I want to be serious for a second. So there's an issue that is. There's an issue that has taken over the league in the last couple of days, particularly over the weekend, and it was an issue around players kneeling, and teams came out in force. Owners spoke up and said, "Hey, you guys can do what you want to do." Blah blah blah. Before things go too crazy down this road, let's just remember these players, though we love them, they are people just like you and me. So they have a set of decisions that they have to make. Decisions around the morals and the things that they believe in, and they should be allowed to make those decisions. So I think all the political stuff around that kind of thing is great, but at the end of the day, it doesn't need to take away from the fact that football is amazing right now. And we just had a great week of games, and the league is actually starting to even out to where everybody has a chance on any given Sunday. And I think we need to focus on that and not so much the other stuff. I don't like the fact that the first 15 minutes of watching a game is this player kneeled today and this player stood up. Like, I want to get away from some of that stuff. So from my point of view, I think you guys would agree that we love football, and that's the reason why we do this. So let's focus on football and not on everything else.
I would have to agree with you.
Yep.
So, all right, let's get into lightheartedness, and we're going to do throw some juice on it. We're gonna start off with some sour grape juice, and it goes to you, Bryan, the guy that I'm currently staring at right now. Do you realize that over the last 2, possibly 3 seasons, you have traded away the best player in fantasy football?
How do you respond?
To be fair, Dalvin Cook is performing as a top 5 running back. It was between
which means that
I didn't want to go into the season, and I feel like at the beginning of the season, a lot of people will agree with me, with 2 running backs, even if they're both the workhorse. Freeman is a safe bet. I think if I would have traded Hunt away for someone that's not the caliber of Freeman, then yeah, it would have been a terrible trade. But I still got something really good in return. I just feel like no one could have ever predicted Hunt would be a god right now. And the load he has, I'm not wishing it on him, but he might get hurt. He's bouncing off, and that might not just keep happening.
So fair enough. No rebuttals, sir. But no, you need to realize at this point that if you would have hung on to those players the last couple of years, you would have yourself a couple championships, and we wouldn't be talking about Chad. So when we're talking about throwing some juice on it, I just want to sprinkle just a little bit of juice on there, maybe burn your eye just a little bit. But you know that you're kind of a running back whisperer. So though you don't realize it, you draft a guy that's going to be the guy. And before they even have a chance to play a game, you ship them off. But that's okay. Drafting them is part of the problem. So you're at least ahead of the competition there.
I hate this guy.
Okay, so the only other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of orange juice on Devin, because last night it came down to cowboy on cowboy. It came down to Dez, who he's been talking about for the last, 8 years. Ever since Dez hit his mom, he's been talking about how great he was. And it came down to Dez versus the Raper, and the Raper ended up winning. And that's okay. I'm not condoning anything. I'm just saying at the end of the day, he needs to stop putting so much faith in Dez, because he's going to keep disappointing him. Sure, he's going to put up points, but Dez isn't going to win him a championship. So while he's staring at a record that I very well could have been staring at if the game would have went a little bit different, he needs to understand that's all that's in store for him this season, because Dez isn't going to get the job done.
I feel like Dez is a top 5 play this week, but after that, maybe he's got some hard matchups, so we'll see.
Is Dez still elite?
Talent-wise, yes. Fantasy-wise, I don't know.
I don't think he's elite talent-wise.
I would have to respectfully disagree with you.
That's fine. I think also that some arguments can be made for like Julio. Somebody like Julio that's talked about being like the best receiver in the league. He should have a lot more touchdowns.
He's never really a guy. He gets a lot of yards, a lot of catches, but they have talked about getting him more involved in the red zone. But
yeah,
that's pretty
when
much
you have guys like Freeman that you trade for that always are scoring touchdowns.
Man, just 2 or 3 years too late on that one, right?
Has Julio ever had a season where he's caught over 10 touchdowns?
Last year he only had 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, I don't know if he's ever gotten more than 9.
I feel like it's always between 4 and 6.
I do agree with Josh, though, assuming that every receiver is healthy, they don't have any problems whatsoever. Julio is absolutely the number one guy I would take.
Okay, so yeah, here's Julio's stats. He's had one season where he hit double digits, and that was in 2012. Other than that, going from 2011 to 2017, which is obviously still going on, we have 8, 10, 2, 6, 8, 6. That's not numbers I would expect from Julio.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong, but the year that he had double-digit touchies, was that the year that Roddy White forgot how to catch?
It could have been, one of his last years in the league.
I think that was the year that he forgot how to catch, and they didn't have any running backs to talk of. So
2015, I would say.
Yeah, 203 targets, 136 catches, 1,800 yards, touchdowns.
That is the year that I had him and lost to Chad in the title game.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Julio's number one talent wise on my team if I was going to pick a receiver to lead my core. But I would still say Des Bryant is elite talent.
Top 5.
Yeah, top 5, definitely.
Nope.
Talent wise, maybe not fantasy.
I think his ego on the team gets more in the way of his production.
It takes him out of the play.
Yeah, you have to throw in mindset into your talent or your skill, and his ego does affect a lot of his decision making, I think.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I don't think Dez belongs in the top 5. I think he's just outside, but I think Fitzy does. I think Fitzy absolutely believes.
Best receivers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hands in the league.
You think he has the best hands in the league?
No, not over Odell, but
not over Antonio Brown. Have you seen some of the trip coverages he catches it in?
Yeah, I mean, Antonio Brown has mainly been known for his route running, be able to create space. But in terms of, I'm going to throw it up or throw it out to the sideline. I want Fitz. I'll trust Fitz over.
Hey, Dylan. While we're on the subject of route running, just a question: Did you draft Terrell Pryor?
I did draft Terrell Pryor.
How's the route running going there? Is it going good?
I'm not disagreeing with you. No, he hasn't been producing well at all. I don't think him and Kirk Cousins are on the same page as of yet. Yeah,
it's because he can't run a route, but that's okay. I mean, I would expect a quarterback turned wide receiver to be an all-star by year 2. So, okay.
I expect him to be an all-star, but considering his production with the Browns last year, I expect him to at least put up similar numbers.
This week was the first time Kirk Cousins looked like a solid quarterback, and he always gets slow starts, so maybe he will get it going with Pryor, especially with Reed being down. He's going to need a big body.
Yeah. I think he looked good this week because Josh Doxson got so involved, and Chris Thompson was able to take it out of the flat, and I think that's why they look so good.
Yeah, Doxson only had one catch, but it was a big play for a touchdown, but his presence alone will make defenders pay attention.
Yeah. I mean, week 1, Pryor had like 8 or 9 targets. So, I mean, the targets are there. They're just not on the same page. So, we'll see how long it'll be before we can get going.
Let's not forget, he's only been playing receiver for 1 year.
Yeah.
So, it's going to take some time. The route running isn't something that, especially, I mean, hands, you can naturally have good hands.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't just innately be able to go out and run a route tree and do it as precise as some of the other people.
He got set up for failure because he got wide receiver 1 money and got brought in to be a lead receiver, and he's not there yet.
Yeah. Matter of time. I like his talent.
I do too.
We'll see. So anything else you want to sprinkle on us there, Juicy?
That's it for right now.
All right. Well, you know what it's time for?
Is it time for
Dylan's
Dookies?
Dylan's Dookies of the week. All right. So
Dylan's Dookies.
To round off my list for today, guys, can we all agree that pretty much the entire Raiders offense dropped a dookie on us this week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marshawn Lynch, Amari Cooper, Derek Carr, Crabtree, but just to pick one, I'm going to go with Michael Crabtree as a dookie for the week.
Mm.
And it was rough. He only had 3 targets, 1 reception for 7 yards. Considering last week, he went crazy and caught 3 touchdowns.
3 tutties.
And then the very next week, he just completely gets shut out by the Redskins defense. So kudos to them. Their defense definitely showed up Sunday night, but I don't expect that to be a common trend. We know how well he's done with Derek Carr in that offense. So I expect Crabtree to bounce back. But for this week, he definitely dropped a dookie on us.
Yeah, 100%.
And then the next guy on my list is Travis Kelce, who the owner of him is sitting right in front of me.
How does that?
Kelce is white.
I mean, saying owner of someone. I mean,
Dylan, it's not about race; it's about football.
Hey, Josh, it's my segment now.
All right. I own Sarah, so I'm gonna get married.
But anyways, Tom, what's going on with Kelce?
Well,
what do you think?
I don't know. I think when you have that offense, okay, you lose Jeremy Maclin, you are vaulting Tyreek Hill into the number 1 spot. You have is it Chris Conley after my Derek and David mistake last week, and then obviously they have the god tier rookie running back Hunt.
And they're fully in the honeymoon phase with him. So they're just trying to get everything they can.
Andy Reid is going back for seconds on that.
Yes,
but I mean, he showed up last week. He had a modest game in week 1.
Yeah.
For me, when you're looking at tight ends, especially in just the way that the fantasy landscape has kind of taken shape over the past few years. I mean, you're hoping for 7-8 points out of a tight end.
Yeah, especially Kelce.
Yeah. So I mean, 1 bad week, not ready to write him off by any means.
Yeah.
He's
definitely not.
He's still a huge part of that offense.
Yeah, he's definitely not like Hunter Henry, who 1 week gets no targets, then he gets 8 catches, then he gets no targets.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like that for Kelsey.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a surprise to me because last year he was the obvious target hog in that offense and had a great year. And then just this week, he only gets 1 target. That just blows my mind. I think he had like 22 points the week before that. And then, that only target was for 1 yard. So, I mean, just, I don't know.
Yeah, they took him out of the game. Yeah,
the way they use him in this game doesn't make sense to me. But, yeah, like you said, there's no way you can write him off. He's still an elite tight end in this league. I expect him to bounce back. But considering how he played week 1 and now week 3, I just hope that this doesn't become a trend of inconsistency for him.
Me either.
But yeah, so with that stat line, I have to put Travis Kelce as a Dookie of the week. And to round it off, Josh, you mentioned him earlier, Jay Ajayi. He only got 13 touches, which isn't terrible, but if you're a featured back in an offense, I expect you to get way more than that. And with those touches, he only had 11 rushes for 16 yards, 2 receptions for 9 yards. That generates out to 4.5 points. And a matchup that I consider very favorable to him against the Jets, but the Jets surprisingly showed up and put the beat down on him. So, yeah, I didn't expect that kind of production from Jay Ajayi. And I don't know. I'm hoping that this doesn't become a concern for the Dolphins. He definitely showed some promise last year and just last week. He had 122 yards rushing. So, I don't know. Maybe he's just a matchup guy. I don't know. But, yeah, I wouldn't write him off just yet either because considering how slim fantasy running backs are as they are. But yeah, Jay Ajayi, you need to produce more, even with the little touches that you get. You need to produce more if you're going to be a featured back in that offense. So,
hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't he hurt going into this week too? So didn't he have like a hamstring problem or something like that?
I think so.
He has some knee soreness, but
yeah.
Look at you, our resident medical expert there.
But yeah, even then, I just expect more. So therefore, he dropped a Dookie on us, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, it definitely was a big factor why Devin lost.
Yeah. And that's Devin's RB1, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Carlos Hyde is stepping up for him, but he's still 0-3.
Yeah, I think Hyde picked up the slack that Ajayi left. But yeah, there you have it, guys. Those are your Dookie of the week. I look for them to bounce back next week, though.
Overall, I'm pretty happy with the performance.
I think you would be, actually. All right. Well, I guess since it's, that time, I might as well take the reins because
Roman Reigns.
Because it's time for Tic Tac Tom Week 3 edition. Looking forward to Week 4.
Let's hear the X's and O's, man.
The X's and O's, bro. So basically, we have 3 weeks in the book, and we have 2 undefeated teams remaining, Falcons and the Chiefs. Falcons, people could have seen that coming maybe with, how well they performed last year. And the Chiefs, I think everybody anybody who doesn't even watch football probably would have picked Patriots to win Week 1. But the Chiefs are 3-0 as well. So you got 2 big matchups coming up to stay undefeated. The Falcons are going to be back at Mercedes-Benz Dome to play the Bills. The Falcons just come off that win against the Lions, that controversial win, that Golden Tate touchdown that, was he in, was he not?
That was a heartbreaker.
It was. It was gone either way. But
they won.
Devin might have beat me with that one.
Scored a touchdown on them. They won.
Yeah.
They played as if the clock didn't run off. So.
Yeah, so that was a tough one for the Lions, but luckily for the Falcons, they come out on top. So, so they go against the Bills, who just got done beating the Broncos. So that should be a pretty interesting matchup. I expect the Falcons to win, but you never know. Moving on to the Chiefs, they are at home against the Redskins. So Arrowhead's going to be rocking for excellent matchup. I think the Redskins looked very, very good last week against the Raiders. So seeing if they can continue that mojo on defense is going to be, I think, one of their key points to victory. Obviously, they have to slow down Hunt. They have to get Kelsey to continue to have his slide. They got to worry about Alex Smith. And then on the other side of the ball, Redskins have Cousins who has to go up against that excellent Chiefs defense. So, a couple of things to watch for there. This one's a tough one to pick. I have to go home field advantage on this one. So I think both of our teams that are undefeated remain that way this week.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one's going to be a little bit closer than Falcons Bills, but that's just.
I'm predicting the Redskins to upset the Chiefs.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Out of the two, I would expect the Bills to upset.
I can see them winning. That's what I was thinking, but just I think Kirk Cousins he's going to bring it again, and with Josh Johnson back, Chris Thompson's being utilized a lot more. I'm feeling it.
You guys put a lot of faith in Josh Doxson.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. A lot of people are really high on this guy. What is it about him as a player? Do you like? What is his X factor? His thing that he brings that makes him such a good player?
I like Bryan. That's just my
I just feel his IQ and his route running and his hands. I just feel he's good in all areas. He'll get that deep ball, but he can jump up and take it out of your hands. It really comes down to his route running. As a younger player, he seems pretty mature. He just can't stay healthy.
Yeah, I agree. I remember the game he had against TCU, or when he was at TCU against Texas Tech. And I want to say Mahomes was the quarterback for Texas Tech during the game.
Yeah.
And Trevon Boykin was quarterback for TCU. This is when TCU was top 5 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they put up 90 total points, and Doxson just destroyed everybody. He had a couple of counts in the back of the end zone, just looking good, and that kind of pretty much solidified him as one of the top receivers in the class. So I like him. I want to see him put it together, though. That's the thing that's missing from his game.
I think his big thing is the big playability. I mean, every team does better when they have that big play guy that can just take it to the house every play, and that's exactly what Josh brings to the table.
I agree. We should get him on the show, actually.
No. He'll get hurt next week, and then we'll have him on.
Sounds
good.
That's fine. I'll get on Twitter, and I'll try to get him in here.
All right. But in addition to the Bills and the Falcons, it would not surprise me if the Bills won. The defense is surprisingly playing better than I thought they would. I mean,
well, let's be honest. The only reason the Bills beat the Broncos is because Von Miller made a bonehead play.
I mean, but the Broncos' offense, they've been on fire the first 2 weeks, especially Trevor Siemian.
And the Bills are right to win, and the Falcons have been getting some sloppy wins, to be honest.
True.
I just love saying that.
And another fact, Taylor does not turn the ball over. I think he's only had, I want to say, 9 interceptions the past 2 seasons.
It's like David Garrard.
Yeah, he doesn't turn the ball over.
Oh, yeah.
He makes plays.
David Garrard. Nice.
I don't know if that's something the Falcons would be used to. I mean, considering they have a quarterback in the division already with Cam, but Bill's success rides on that defensive line.
I'm calling the Bills upset the Falcons and the Redskins upset the Chiefs.
All right, screw my predictions.
I think the Bills can win, but they won't.
I think by the time we get to week 5, there is no undefeated teams in the league.
That's possible.
Yes, safe to say.
But I don't see the Redskins beating the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will stay on that hot streak.
I like it.
I think the Chiefs and Redskins will have a game. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, moving on to my
still here.
Moving on to my second thing to kind of look for this upcoming week, and that is the New York Football Giants. Awful. They, for whatever reason, they have all the hype in the world, but they are awful. The offensive line is trash.
Yeah, do you guys know the Pythagorean theorem?
I've heard of it.
On the offensive line.
I've heard of it. Yeah, yeah. Apparently, it's this this formula that says that the Giants should be 1-1. You haven't seen the video. Giants commentator going crazy on the offensive line. The Giants are a hot mess, dude. They have all the offensive weapons that they need, but they don't. They're just not meshing together.
And Odell's not going to give them what they need week in, week out. He's worried about making his own brand.
Well, and if you look at it like this, the Giants' offensive coordinator was the offensive coordinator for the Packers. So everything links up. So Odell is Jordy Nelson, Brandon Marshall is Devontae Adams, and Randall Cobb is Sterling Shepard. So if you remember when he was the offensive coordinator for the Packers, it took them a little bit to get that going because they had all these mouths to feed. And I feel like that's the problem with the Giants is everybody's looking at Brandon Marshall and saying, oh, he's not producing, but he is. If you look at his catches, he's getting his catches. He's just not doing anything with them. And Sterling Shepard had such a great week this week, but it's because he broke some tackles because of the Eagles can't tackle to save their life. And he made some big plays down the stretch. And Bryan, to your point, Odell, if he could just get his head in the game instead of being outside the game, they'd be so much better.
I do want to point out, though, Odell had a terrific game against the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think all the three receivers you just mentioned, all of them had a fantastic game. At least 6 receptions. Just goes to show how weak that Eagles secondary is. But that's what happened to lose. Was it Roby Coleman?
Well, they did lose Ronald Darby.
Darby. Okay, Roby Coleman. I think he's on the Rams. That's what I'm thinking of.
Hey Tom. So while we're on that game, just a quick ask you guys: how do you feel about Darren Sproles? And quite possibly he's done. He's never going to come back again. He leaves with a torn ACL and a broken arm on the same play.
Yeah, it's
brutal.
It sucks. He's one of the San Diego Chargers and Eagles players that have been around for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Had a great career. Had a good run with the Saints too. I mean, he's one. He's like probably. Well, I don't know. You look at Curtis Martin, I'll say Dave Meggett, Garrison Hurst, I guess a little bit like the best scat backs in history. Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
Sproles has to be on that list too.
Yeah.
So if this is the last time we ever see him, it's going to be sad. But I mean, he's had an excellent career.
I think the person next in line to fill his shoes on the team would be Donnell Pumphrey.
Oh yeah.
But I think he had the fastest time in the draft among running backs.
Yeah, they drafted him for that reason.
Yeah.
And if I'm not,
I will tell you though.
I
will tell you though, not on the Eagles, but in my opinion, the next Darren Sproles is Tariq Cohen. Dude's got such a low center of gravity and can spin out of everything. Like he's very electric to watch. Like if he gets if Jordan
trade him to me, so
just now for Dalvin Cook,
Freeman,
and Freeman.
That was some more of that juice. I'm sorry.
So that means that Dalvin Cook's going to blow up now, right?
Is Pumphrey hurt though? I can't remember.
He might be. I'm not sure because I know Wendell Smallwood's the next guy.
I know they have Corey Clement, and
I really like Corey. Blunt just messes everything up.
Oh yeah, I forgot they have Blunt too.
He's about
All right, so let's keep the train rolling, I guess. Kind of continuing on with the theme you had already mentioned, there have been a lot of good games in the NFL this week.
Oh, yeah.
As opposed to the first 2 weeks, there were some pretty big stinkers. But I guess in short, I'm really looking forward to see if the quality of the games continue to live up to the standard of the NFL.
I'm hoping so. There was some good games this week. I think my pick, like I mentioned earlier, was Rams and Niners, but I think a close second was definitely the Titans Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good one.
Oh, dude, Patriots and Texans.
The most hype one for me was either Seattle and Titans, and not just because I like the Vikings, but Vikings Tampa Bay. So to see the Titans and Vikings come out on top was a bonus, but those were
the Panthers actually had a great game as well.
I hear that. Yeah, that's
that's right.
So Patriots and Texans.
Actually was a good game.
This is a really good week for football.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because Brandon Cooks had an amazing catch to seal it, but Tom Brady was like, "Oh, what's that? You're going to be a good rookie? Well, I'm the GOAT. Welcome to the NFL." Drove down the field, boom, won the game.
However, Deshaun Watson almost came into Foxborough his very first time there on the road and beat Tom Brady. He was very close.
Hey, Dylan, in watching that performance, did you see a lot of Johnny Manziel when he went in to play Alabama? So in other words, athletic kid, just out there running around making stuff happen.
Yeah.
And I thought Deshaun passed the ball really well. He had some really pretty throws in that game. I didn't watch the game, but I saw highlights. That's all I'm going off of. But
he was making some sketchy plays that worked out, like throwing across his body all the way across the field, just getting over 3 defenders and stuff. It was working out for him, but
it's not gonna be an every week thing.
Yeah, New England's defense is not what it could be, what it used to be.
Yeah, he had a really pretty touchdown throw to Ryan Griffin in the end zone.
Oh yeah,
that was nice.
Well, he's definitely got that ability.
Texans found a good one. Yeah. That's for sure, which is unfortunate.
I think he'll learn and grow and become a solid starter in the NFL.
And that division is looking tough.
Yeah, outside of the Colts.
Yeah.
Now the Jags just need to get Baker Mayfield, and then all of a sudden the AFC South has like the best young quarterbacks in the league.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I said Baker Mayfield. He wins games.
Not Sam, not Josh Allen, not Josh Rosen.
He gets it.
No, I'm talking athletic kid who can come out there and win games. Hey, Tim Tebow couldn't throw a ball to save his life, but he won a playoff game.
Demaryius Thomas won a playoff game. If you ask me, but Tebow did have his time. I don't know. Mayfield looks good. He's Heisman candidate.
Yeah.
We'll see if
that kid from Penn State's going to win the Heisman hands down. There's nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That
kid's a stud. Kid is a stud.
Yeah, where he goes in fantasy drafts next year.
Dylan's taking him first round.
Depends on where he goes.
Yeah.
I took Zeke first round. That worked out pretty well on the situation.
Yeah, you took Zeke when he had a smile.
And a 6-pack.
Yeah.
Now he's like Shawn Michaels and he lost his smile.
And matchup of the week.
You need an intro.
That's my intro.
That's your intro.
Let's get right into it. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. We got Chad versus Chris this week. I think that Hunt's not going to have a 20-plus to 40-plus game this week. I think Thompson's going to get shut down by the Chiefs. And I'm liking Ingram and McCaffrey, and those are my where McCaffrey and Ingram are going to stop Chad from winning 4 straight.
Dude, McCaffrey, on 9 balls
for 100-plus yards.
He's just gobbling up.
I want to have my biased moment for the Panthers for a second.
Yeah, but wait till Greg Olsen comes back.
Next is Chad versus Devin. And I'm sorry, Devin. I like all the Tom versus Devin. I call you Chad.
I'm kind of sad.
I'm so sorry. Just kill me. But I like his matchups. Jordan Howard showed up like a boss last week. Kelsey's not going to be held down forever. Montgomery's looking good. Parker has a nice matchup. And until Ajayi shows me something, Des Bryant shows me a little more. Newton, I feel is going to have a good week. But that's a stretch. I don't know. No shots on Dylan there. But I have Tom winning.
With you.
Yeah, I have Tom winning this one. Next, we're going to go with whatever I clicked on.
Jordan.
Yep. No, this is Dan.
Oh, Juice versus Dan.
Juice versus Dan.
Ooh, I like this one.
Get it right.
Yeah. I think it comes down to if LA can keep it going, if he can look good again, or is he going to look like he did 2 weeks ago or last week? 2 weeks ago, yeah. I think that's the X factor. There's a lot of hard matchups here. Diggs is looking really good. Tom Brady's looking good. I'm going to have to go with Dan just because of those two. I believe in, trust in more. Phillip Rivers, who knows? Baltimore's got a good defense. I know Jags ran all over him, but
I don't think Rivers will be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, I predict that as well. Roethlisberger's not that
Right.
see Antonio Brown going off as much. I think it's a close one. It could go either way, but I'm gonna take Dan on this one. Then it goes to Jordan and I.
Matchup of the week.
It could be, but I'm trying not to be biased like always. Gordon's
Bryan.
health is the issue, honestly. Murray looked really good, but without Gordon, it's going to be a much harder matchup for you. Fitzgerald always starts the season off hot. San Francisco's pretty bad. I think they get up early, and if it's not through Fitz's hands, then they're probably going to be running the ball. I'm going to go with myself here, to be honest. So, love you, Jordan. But yeah.
I don't want to be biased, but I win. So
next will be Ryan and Cohen. This guy.
Let's go ahead and say it.
Simeon will not be on his
He will not.
roster.
No.
Hogan against the Panthers. He's looking good these last few weeks. If Amendola's back, it might change things. Fournette opened the door on Baltimore. I think Bell is the key to winning if they can. He'll do well. Fournette's going to keep it going and just for the Jets. But I think if all those guys just do what they need to do to win the game, Ryan might win because Evans is going to go off, absolutely go off. Landry's looking good, and I think they're going to go back to him because that recipe was working for him, and last week clearly not. Parker and Ajayi. I'm still going to go with Dylan here. I think that his guys are going to perform.
I disagree.
But the matchup of the week, I have to go with the undefeated Kyle. His team's monstrous. They had the second highest score last week. Trade that Josh got for C.J. Anderson, it definitely helped his team out. Gronk is still healthy. Arizona's defense against San Francisco. I'm not a big fan of Brendan Marshall in this lineup. I think you have a few other people you maybe throw in, maybe Curse because he's the number one target. He's going to get looked at a lot. Marlon Mack should be playing more. He's just not, so I understand that you're benching him. But Gurley's going to have another good week. Carson has Indianapolis. Devontae, Green have good matchups. Breeze as well. It's hard to go against Kyle. My heart is with Josh on this one, but my head is saying Kyle. He's going to go 4-0 until week 5 where he plays me. So match of the week.
then it'll be 5-0, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's your shot back at me. So much I hate to say it, Kyle's going to win this one. But Chad will lose, so we will only have one undefeated team after this.
Chad's not losing.
That is, those are my predictions. Chad
and Kyle in the final game.
Yeah.
I'm calling it now.
Nope.
You and Kevin.
I just want a new champion this year.
Yeah. I would love to see Devin make the playoffs, but it's just
It's not looking too
He has
good.
a playoff team. He's just not getting lucky.
Yeah, his matchups have been bad.
Yep.
All right, predictions for the week. Juice, as our special guest host, would you like to give us your bold prediction?
Ooh, bold prediction for the week. Yeah, so, Tom, I've been giving a lot of thought to Ty Montgomery, and I don't think he's looking so good. I think he is, he's a receiver. He's never really been built to be between the tackles as much as he is. The Packers are overusing him on goal line work. And I think that Ty Montgomery is going to find himself probably needing to sit on the shelf for a little bit coming up. So my bold prediction for the week is to enjoy it while it lasts, because you're going to have Ty Montgomery for only a couple more weeks before he's gone.
So you're predicting he gets injured?
Yep.
Dude, you love predicting injuries.
Yeah.
That's your thing.
That is your thing.
Hey, I'm saying if a starting running back is asking to be taken out of the game because he doesn't feel right, there's a problem. It's coming.
Maybe he was just smart and he got out there knowing that they need him for future games.
Huh.
Sorry.
Cold-blooded.
All right, who's up next? Rock, paper, scissors, go. Dylan.
All right, my prediction
I
is
won
more-
rock, paper, scissors. I'm just being nice. And let Dylan go first.
Thanks, Brian. That's nice of you. Anyways, my prediction is more real life related, but mine is a division winner prediction. I think out of the NFC I think the Los Angeles Rams are going to win the division this year. Only by a slim margin, but their defense is good. And like Josh mentioned earlier, they have the number one offense in the league currently right now. Jared Goff, surprisingly looking good. And the rest of that division just doesn't look good enough to compete with that defense, in my opinion. So I
was losing games that they should be winning.
Yeah.
Hold on.
We'll get to that in a second. But I predict that the Rams are going to win the division this year at a 9-7 record. It's going to be close, but I think they'll make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I have them win 9 to 10 games. I completely agree with you.
I'm not so high on them.
Really? Okay.
I'm not. I think
that's why it's bold. Keep in mind.
Yeah,
I'm with Tom.
I don't know who's going to come out of there alive in the NFC West.
Yeah.
I still like the Seahawks if they can turn it around, but I don't like the longevity of the Rams.
I agree.
But
I'm with Tom.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. They've played some, I'll say subpar competition, some defenses that haven't been as good. So you look at the 49ers and the Colts, that's where they've put up a ton of points.
Yeah.
So, obviously you have to win in your division, and they're doing that so far.
Yeah.
So, anything can happen.
Yeah, I think it'll be close, but with the way that division's playing currently, they have a good chance, I think.
Yeah.
All right, my prediction is a weekly prediction. I'm predicting that the Patriots lose to the Panthers. The Patriots defense is bad. And I know Cam Newton's been awful, but I believe in their defense, and I think that Cap are going to find ways to be slowing the game down. The defense is going to get a couple takeaways. It's just not going to click as well as you. Even if it does, I just feel this Panthers are going to keep them off the field, and I'm predicting that the defense and the running game wins this for the Panthers.
Yeah, I disagree heavily, but
you said that a lot.
So far, all my predictions have been on here right, and you've been disagreeing with me every single time.
Yeah, Dylan, shut up.
I think that the Panthers' offense is going to come around eventually, but Foxborough is not one of them.
I think it is, and the best that they've each time. I know Greg Olson's out, but every time Benjamin's not there, and Newton gets the ball around and they run and he's running, and the defense is playing at a high level, they win games.
That is true. Cam won MVP and led the Panthers to a 15-1 season with Jericho Cottrey and Ted Ginn as his top receivers.
I know
Cam is the more talented Deshaun Watson. So
McCaffrey showed up last week, and I think that's the key for the injury with Olsen.
They need to get creative with McCaffrey.
Yes, and I think that they're going to win this game.
I disagree, but I would love to see it. But I just don't think it's going to happen.
Hey, you never know. Well, there must be an echo in here because my bold prediction of the week is also injury related, but it's not somebody specific.
Okay.
We're at that point in the year where we haven't had a ton of really league-changing injuries.
Sell that to Dan.
Well, I mean, it was 3 years ago in week 5 we had Jamal Charles go down.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was the Keenan Allen injury. The year before that was the Keenan Allen injury. And Jordy. So I think that we're going to see something big this week. I just don't know what. It just feels like this week is going to be almost like a down week for the NFL. Maybe not in terms of the quality of the games, but
Christian McCaffrey.
I would predict a soft tissue injury, and there's a handful of guys that are being used a lot. Curse your team, Tom. He was talking about Montgomery, but McCoy has hamstring injuries. You think it could be McCoy?
I see what's going on here.
Let's be honest. They're kind of overusing McCoy because that's all they have. So
you?
I mean, I'll take Howard.
What?
I figured you called for Howard.
Right. Anyway, but yeah, it seems like that's going to be one of these weeks coming up. But it's going to be an interesting one. I look forward to it. Another good week in the NFL. Hopefully the games are hopefully the games are as good as they have been past a few days. But all right, final thoughts, boys.
I'm just happy Chad's going to lose.
We've said that, I feel like 3 weeks in a row now.
I predicted last week he would win. You guys got to follow me. I'll get my own channel and just sit there.
So, if I could lead off with final thoughts. I want to do more of a real life thing here. So Zeke has this hearing coming up, and I've been thinking a lot about this. And my opinion towards this is probably going to shock a lot of people, and that is that I really hope he actually has to serve a suspension. As Tom, you mentioned earlier, he doesn't have his six pack, and he looks bad. And I think that the stigma around this problem is very much something that could haunt him for years to come. So I am a big fan of this game of fantasy football, and I don't want one good year. I want 5 good years. And I think
wait. Are you leaning towards a keeper league now? Is that what I'm hearing?
No. So I think that the situation with Zeke very much reminds me of a situation with Ray Rice or a situation with Adrian Peterson, where they had these big issues off the field, and it forever changed the way that they were viewed in the league. And they were never the same player. Tell me you guys haven't watched Adrian Peterson on the Saints and thought to yourself, wow, that guy used to be a first pick. Because he looks terrible, and he's all washed up now. It's because the love of the game is taken away from you. And with Zeke, I see fatigue. I see he's not smiling. I see he's not having a good time. Obviously, he's not in shape. And that stuff's not Zeke, not who he is. So I would much rather him swallow the pill, take the suspension, get it off your back, and possibly cost me some games versus keep playing, keep doing moderately well, and find himself not being worth a shit in the next 3 years. So my final thought is, Zeke, take your medicine, get better, and come back next year a stronger player.
I agree with you. That's a tough pill to swallow for you to say that. But he just doesn't seem apologetic, just like Ray Rice and Peterson did when they were going through their problems. He just seems like he's just riding the train, couldn't care. And I think a suspension would probably help him to mature. But we'll see.
I think a lot of that has to go to the fact that he's in the middle of a legal battle, though.
Yeah.
He's probably being instructed not to talk to anybody about it, just for, I guess, integrity of the case. But I mean, he's a different person now. You can just tell it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I was an owner and I was saying, I got a guy who has a suspension looming, what's the purpose of dragging it out if you know that you're going to be missing him for first 6 games next year, as opposed to, just get it over with? Because the worst thing that could happen to Zeke and to the Cowboys would be he gets hurt next week, misses time for the injury,
and then gets suspended.
And he can't serve a suspension when he's hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So if he gets put on IR, he missed 2 years instead of just
That's
the
a
one.
good point.
So
And I mean, with my thing is, I'm super happy that I was able to pick him up and get him in the draft. And wow, I have a team with Antonio Brown and Zeke. That's freaking awesome. But at the end of the day, if it is sacrificing the fact that we're going to lose a great player in years to come, then I don't want to do it, because it's not fun.
He's not producing off the points for you anyway. So, I mean, if you have to sit him on your bench for a while, it's not going to kill you.
Yeah, which he was on my bench until 4:15 on Sunday. So I just didn't want to play him because he doesn't look like he's having a good time. So that's my piece. That I would much rather take the losses than lose the good player. So
all right,
Bold.
You could trade him to somebody that's going to be 4-0, like Kyle.
No.
Okay.
Or you traded to Bryan. Apparently, he wants all the running backs.
No, just Tom's, all 3 Toms, and that's legit.
Hey, Bryan, if I trade him to Kyle, he would effectively then trade him to you, right? So technically, I would just be trading him to you.
Kyle would. I have a way about me that Kyle just can't withstand.
He can't resist you.
I get it. I understand.
Same with Chad, but he always gets good turn on spinners.
Yep.
Chad's the luckiest fantasy player of all time.
He could be. 3-0, 3 titles. That's crazy.
No, that is not happening. Just you stop that right now, Ricky Bobby.
Sorry. Don't put that eagle on me.
If he's undefeated by the time he gets to me, like week 10, I'll try to do what I can.
I'll trade you everybody I have.
Yeah.
But my final thoughts of the week, 2 things, I guess, something I'm really looking forward to. We all talked about our biases, throughout the episode. Titans-Texans this week. Huge divisional game. See what you're made of kind of thing for both teams. So I'm definitely going to be watching that. And I guess in terms of the league itself, I'm really excited for next week in particular. So not this upcoming one, but the next one, because that is our first true rivalry week of the year. And it brings us to the best matchup in the history of matchups that we have ever had.
Boo.
That is bad.
Oh, boy.
I am so ready to see them throw down. I know Josh is dreading it, but I'm beyond excited to see what happens, because if Chad loses, he might quit the league.
No, please don't do that.
If Chad wins, then Josh might quit the league, but
no, actually, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, that's what one of my final thoughts, I guess. I guess moving forward to next week's show, the tentative idea is to have another special guest. You know who you are.
He's even more special than Josh.
He is very special. But with that comes a different air date. So we'll probably be on Sunday of that week instead of Thursday this week. So that's all tentative, of course. Plans are going to fall through the floor, and it's not going to happen, and we'll be on like normal. But that's where we're at.
It will be the 3 of us.
It will be the 3 of us again.
Yeah.
So does that mean that I'm not allowed to come back? Is that what just happened?
You can come back. We're going to try to get everybody eventually.
Right. Oh, so I get a participation trophy. I get it. I understand.
We'll send you a green ribbon.
I like it.
Somebody in the crowd's going to understand what that means. Someone's going to get it. They're like, oh, an exhibitor ribbon. I get it.
I had a green ribbon for first place in knockout with 120 people, and I was like 12.
All right, Dylan.
Okay, it was second place.
Is it that time?
It might be that time, bro. Unless anybody has anything else.
Thanks for coming on, Josh.
It's been a pleasure.
Hey, no, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Good seeing
and
you.
Hey, best of luck.
All right, guys, hit that like button. Comment if you think we sound like idiots. Subscribe for more content. And as always, go F yourself.
Now that's the ending that we've been waiting for. Unlike last week, idiot.